episode of the Sean Farrell podcast. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so Autumn Bushman. Okay. Her parents reflected since it's been a year since their 10-year-old daughter ended her life by suicide. Okay, and they reflected on that year. I saw all that story. A message less than 4 seconds long. It's one of the last places Summer Bushman can hear her daughter's voice. Hey, Mom, can you please give me a call back as soon as you can? Love you. Bye. Autumn Bushman said in a recording. Autumn Bushman died by suicide 1 year ago. She was 10 years old. To this day, even a year later, I catch myself thinking, oh my goodness, she's not with me anymore. She's not here, Summer Bushman said. Across town, Mark Bushman stood in the room where his daughter Autumn would have slept during her stays. Whew. He has made a few changes to the bedroom, but a pair of shorts still sit on the floor where Autumn left them. Normally, I would clean her room, and she would have changed out of those 2 days prior. And I didn't touch her room, and I'm glad that I didn't, Mark Bushman said. The Bushmen say bullying played a role in Autumn's death. This year, Senate Bill 265, known as Autumn's Law, was introduced into the Virginia General Assembly. The bill would make aggravated bullying and cyberbullying a Class 1 misdemeanor. Okay. The harshest misdemeanor classification, carrying penalties of up to 1 year in jail and a $2,500 fine. Autumn's Law joins other proposals targeting cyberbullying of minors. Assembly Bill A2641 in New York would make repeated cyberbullying of minors an unclassified misdemeanor with penalties of up to $1,000 in fines and 1 year behind bars. State Senator Bill Stanley, R7, is the lawmaker behind Autumn's Law. He said bullying has grown into a larger problem than ever before. However, Virginia lawmakers decided not to take action on Autumn's Law this session. Opponents of it argued that the penalties were too harsh. Instead, legislation will be revisited next year. So, I guess bullying somebody to their suicide death. It's not enough to pass the bill. Parents having to bury their child. The feedback I got when I presented the law wasn't sympathy for the victim or sympathy for Autumn, but rather as overt sympathy for the bully. Bingo. And that attitude is exactly what allows this to continue in our school systems, Stanley said. State Senator Bill Stanley. Pastor Thomas McCracken helped write Autumn's Law. He said the delay, while disappointing, gives advocates more time to prepare. I'm kind of excited that we now have more time. First of all, now we know who is opposed to this bill and why they're opposed to it. For me, that is great news to have, McCracken said. It's like seeing the plays from an opposing team before those plays are carried out. Both parents said a message of kindness and suicide prevention needs to reach others, but they wish it didn't have to come with the loss of their daughter. When asked what he would say to Autumn today, Mark Bushman said, I think I would have to thank her for the example she gave me. Even as a child, that difference in age meant nothing. How she lived her life, it's almost like she left a blueprint of how to be kind and how to love others and see past differences. Summer Bushman also answered the question. I would tell her this will pass. This is only temporarily, because in all reality, pain is only temporary, and life is beautiful. A motorcycle and Jeep ride is scheduled for Saturday, March 21st, 2026. Autumn's Ride. A Benefit for Hope will begin at the Salem Civic Center. Registration for the event is now open. All money raised will be donated to the Tudor House, a local nonprofit focused on suicide prevention. I guess this is in the state of Virginia. Okay. People struggling with a mental health crisis can call the National 988 hotline or the Blue Ridge Behavioral Health Care hotline. 540-981-9351. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So bullying today is out of control. And I've made this point several times that it was a lot different when I was coming up in school. When the bully wanted to say something to you, they said it right to your face. Okay? They said it right to your face. Yes, it was bad. I think it's 10 times worse now today. We didn't have social media back then. So when you went home, you at least got to break from, well, let me just be for myself, okay? When I was bullied, okay? When I went home, I at least I didn't have to hear it for a short while, okay? And and I didn't have to hear it on the weekends either, okay? But when I was in school, high school, heard it on the bus, the cafeteria, the classroom, okay, the hallways, okay. I was mainly made fun of because of my teeth. Okay, I had no front teeth at that time. Okay, also had a speech impediment. Okay, and was made fun of that. And I'll never forget the day that I came to school with a high top fade. Okay. Yeah. I came to school with a high top fade in 2002. Okay. I came to school with a high top fade and it was a volcano. It was a volcano. It was a volcano. Um, wow. Yeah. Yeah. I heard it. I heard it that whole day. I heard it that whole day. And mm, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, um, it's much worse than it was when I was coming up. Social media um, was just born after I graduated high school in 2004. First, there was MySpace, then there was Facebook, then Instagram, then X, um, TikTok. Um, so yeah, I think there's more pressure on teens to today. Um, there's more bullying um, of teens today. Um, because not only do they hear it at school, if they're on social media, they hear it on social media. So they don't have an escape, any sort of escape from it. Um, and hearing it all day, every day. Yeah, yeah. Um, we got to do something about that. We got to do something about that. And let me go back. Um, um, what the state lawmaker said. The feedback I got when I presented the law was a sympathy for the victim or sympathy for Autumn, but rather an overt sympathy for the bully, as if we needed to protect the bully. So while kids as young as 10 years old are ending their lives by suicide, we feel the need to protect someone who said terrible things verbally and did terrible things physically. But yeah, we feel the need to protect someone who pushed someone to their death. That's the person we need to protect, right? Nah. Mm-mm. Nah. Nah. Fuck protecting bullies, okay? Fuck protecting bullies, okay? I really have a hard heart for bullies, okay? I have a heart of stone when it comes to bullies. I'm sorry. I have a heart of stone when it comes to bullies. Because I know what it was like being laughed at, being picked on verbally, okay? In my case, it was all verbal, okay? It was all verbal, okay? I can't, I don't ever remember anybody putting their hands on me. It was just all verbal, okay? With me. I'm just speaking for myself. For me, it was all verbal, okay? But yeah, we can't protect egg bullies. We can't protect egg bullies. They don't deserve her protection. People like that who push people to suicide, they don't need protection. Okay? They do not need protection. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That just really eats at me that we feel the need to protect bullies who push people, young girls and young boys, to their suicide, and they don't get hit in trouble for it. Okay? Yeah, they don't get hit in trouble for it because we feel the need to, quote, protect bullies. No, no. They need to be dealt with. Okay? They need to be dealt with. And I think a strong message needs to be sent. Okay? But like the state senator her said, protecting a bully instead of the victim. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, Autumn Bushman, 10-year-old, and ended her life by suicide. Um, Prayers out for her parents, her family who loved her very deeply. Okay, and yeah, be kind. You never know what somebody's going through. Okay, be a buddy, not a bully. All right, that's it, and that's all for the Sean Farrell podcast. You matter. You are loved. You are more than enough. Okay, don't let anybody else ever tell you any differently. Okay, peace. God bless.